Hello, 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 hello. Okie dokie, who's in? Who's in? Give me a shout. Give me a shout. Give me a shout. Say hello. I know there's some people in here. I can see y'all. I can see y'all. Right, let's get things set up. Say hello, man. Say hello. As per normal, we're going to have to wait for people to roll in. Takes a good 10 minutes. You know, people are working. Hello, Loon. How you doing, mate? Wait for people to roll. Christ, it's hot. It's a hot one. Do you like me new? Why are the widget's not connected? Bloody needy, so needy. Get it. So goddamn needy. So do you like my little background, my little frame I've got going on around here? Points for anyone who knows where I ripped that off from. Blatantly copied it off another podcast channel, but I'm sure they ripped it off somebody else. That's how it works, isn't it? So yes, let's wait for people to roll in. So this is the support desk Q&A live stream. It's just an hour or so of me chatting away to you lot. No agenda, no script, no preconceived ideas of what we're going to do. It's just a chatette. I see only a grey background. Lies. Not this background, man. I mean that the thing, you know, the orange squares and the little text thing down there. That thing. That. I don't know what you call it. It's a frame. I guess there's two backgrounds. I've got my background, and then there's that background. Yes, that one. Yes, that's the one, mate. All new. That's been my task over the last couple of days. One of them. Working on that. So yes, we'll wait for a few other people. I know that the time's changed on this a couple of times. It's been a hell of a day. So I've changed it from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I'm still kind of tinkering with the time on this. I kind of want to keep it a Friday. And YouTube's got analytics where it tells you where your viewers or when your viewers are most online. And according to YouTube, most of my viewers are online between UK time 4 and 7 o'clock. So between 4 and 7 p.m. my time, which is I'm right in the middle of that now. That's usually when most people are online. I know different individuals be like, well, I'm not. I kind of get that, but looking at a overall picture, a heat map of when most of them are online, that is it. So kind of still open to tinkering around with it a bit. But yeah, Friday, I'm good with Friday, man. It's like the end of the week, have an hour of chilling out. Everyone's sort of winding down. And for the US as well, in the UK and Europe, this is kind of like the end of the day. So I think maybe like people in Europe and in the UK are like, it's Friday. It's the end of the day on Friday. I don't really want to talk. If I'm honest, mate, I don't really want to talk to you. You're a work thing. And I just don't. It's Friday. I am checked the hell out. Which is fair enough. But in the US, which the overall umbrella audience, looking at them all, about 30% of my entire audience from the US. So it's just sort of. I mean, the US has got a ridiculous amount of time zones. So based on where you are in the US, it's kind of morning through to early afternoon US. So probably a good time for those lot. sort of lunchtime in some areas to mid-morning in some others. Yeah, put your headphones in, just have a bit of a chill out. You don't have to talk. You can just, if you remember, you can type. If not, you can just listen. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I think my YouTube's frozen. I'm going to give this a refresh because I think I'm not seeing the full picture here. Apparently, according to YouTube, Loon, you're the only one here. Yeah, that was wrong. That's better. I've done a refresh and now everything's coming to life. Mr. Barometric, new swanky layout, mate. Yes. Like I said, points are on offer. Bonus brownie points if you can guess where I ripped that off from. If you can't guess where I ripped that off from, then I'll just leave it at that. Let's not give away where I got that from. But I like it. Minimalistic, mate. It's minimalistic, classy, and kind of slightly disappointing that I've had to put that text ticket down at the bottom. Which, you know, is it? So, I don't know if you've read it, but it's basically me saying, look, mate, don't spam copy and paste stuff into chat, because it's fair enough. Like I said this in Discord, I think. Like a lot of the guys that watch me, they're kind of, you know, they're not really the streaming generation, you know. Like I'm not. I'm nearly 40. You know, I'm not. I didn't grow up through the streaming boom, so I think a lot of the guys that watch me don't quite get how this kind of all came about and what the etiquette is. And when you're in a live stream, regardless of whether it's, you know, whether there's 5 people in there or 20 or 500 or, you know, there can be hundreds of thousands of people. It's not necessarily a guaranteed, you know, open group conversation. Do you know what I mean? You imagine jumping into the likes of, I don't know, like a Joe Rogan podcast that's live and trying to have a chat, you know, and thinking you're able to chat with him. It's not, you know, by the time you press return on the keyboard, your comment is practically in the North Pole. It's gone that far. So, but anyway, there was a couple of people in the last live stream who were getting quite frustrated with me, like audibly frustrated that I wasn't reading their comments, and I thought, I want to interact with people as much as possible, but it's not a guaranteed thing. You know what I mean? Like what happens is I've got the text ticker on the right, and I'll read something, think, that's a good thing. I'll have a chat, and then I'll talk, and then in that time, a whole bunch of stuff's been said, and then when I'm finished, I'll look and see what's current. You know, that's kind of how this thing. Anyway, so yeah, that little text ticket down the bottom there is just to say, mate, don't copy and paste spam your comment until I see it. It's not really cool. I mean, people can do it, I suppose, but it's just not really cool. But that's what Super Chat's for, isn't it? If anyone wants something that's like in any stream to stand out and be presented on screen, that you use the Super Chat, which is anyone's guess whether it's working today. It's anyone's guess. Let's do a test. So it's there. Whether it's working or not, I don't know. It looks like your video has an orange border trim lines. What? Orange border trim lines? What are you talking about? What are you looking at? Orange border trim lines? Where, mate? Where? This one? I see no orange border. I've got little squares, like, I can't even mouse cursor to them because the mouse doesn't go there. But I've got little orange squares up there. I haven't got an orange border anywhere, have I? Looks like it was ripped off from the old Cleveland Browns website. Oh, that's not a good sign. No, it wasn't. It was ripped off from a podcast that I watch. You had no notice today. For God's sake. Do you know what it is? YouTube, mate. YouTube let me down again. Nothing different to this one than the last one, as far as I know. In fact, I reused the settings from the last live stream, so I don't know what the hell could have been different. It was literally a reuse of the settings from the last one. I need a sidekick. I probably could, actually. Well, like a little double up act. Yeah. So, have you ever checked out the ViewCube in Inventor? you kind get rid of it. It's there. It's in your face all day, every day. Yes, I've checked it out. I'm indifferent to it, if I'm honest. It kind of appeared after the Alias acquisition. The ViewCube appeared, and then hated it. Everyone hated it at first, and then it just became an accepted necessary evil. But then it serves a purpose. You can click the faces and it moves orthographically to look down, and then you can sort of set things as the front and all that kind of stuff. I'm indifferent to it. That's probably the best way of describing how I feel about the ViewCube. Indifferent. I wouldn't lose any sleep if they decided to get rid of it. You can personalize. Why would you want to personalize it, mate? In what possible way would you want to personalize the ViewCube? I mean, if you could drape some nice fairy lights around it, or maybe like plant a shrubbery around it, that would be quite cool. I don't know why. What do you mean by personalize it? Switch planes per default. That's not the kind of personalization I was interested in, mate. But if you can make it like blue or a different like color so it looks different. But I've honestly never felt the need. But you got spammed with it by YouTube, do you? Okay. I don't know. I don't think YouTube's really got its notifications figured out. I think it's one of those sites where it's so big. It's got so many notifications. Think about how many people are doing videos and how many subscribers some people have, and then how many notifications that entails. I think they just can't cope with it. With the best intentions, but I just don't think they can cope with it. So, yeah, that's it's a shame. We'll get there in the end. I think once this becomes routine and it's been going for a good few weeks, I think most people probably remember that it's on. And if I can think of a different way of, I don't really want to spam people with other notifications I'm definitely not putting a video up like I used to do when I was on Twitch. I'd like release a video to YouTube saying, "Hey, I'm on Twitch now." But I think YouTube, they frown on that. I think they take very kindly to people doing that now. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spam the community tab. I don't really know how else to let people know that it's on. And I put the reminder. I schedule it, I should say, a couple of days in advance, so it's there plenty of time really in advance. And there's nothing more really I can do. That's about it. So, wow, I mean, and it's not doing a very good job for me at the moment. Like I'm going, if you go to the chat, and then there's like a little 3 dots button at the top of chat. If you click that, it says participants, and that lets you know who's logged in and who's in the chat. According to this, there's me and 2 other people, when clearly there's not. There's more people than that. So I don't know what it's doing. It's lagging. It's having a right bad time. I hope it's not lagging on the chat. Participants, yeah. It's like, I don't know. Unless you 2 are the only members in. I know that Mateus is in, and Timo's in as well. I guess you have to write a message first. So does that mean you're in now, participants? Yeah, maybe it is, Timo, because you weren't there and you've just written a message and now you're in the participants list. Oh, that's a little bit annoying because it says here that there's 21 concurrent viewers, but in the participants, it says there's only 3. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Oh, I want to welcome everyone else. But yes, it's a shame. It's a shame. But we've had a good influx of people to Discord this week, which has been good. Memberships are going well. We've had, I would say, probably a 15% increase on membership since last week, which is really good. And you had your first members-only video as well, which was, I think it was a pretty good one as well. The Engineer's Notebook. Once I got into that, looked into that, I thought, yeah, it's pretty nice. It's buggy, a bit glitchy, even on 2021. But it's got all kinds of potential, that thing. So yeah, I enjoyed doing that one. The Engineer's Notebook, first members-only video. And we had the discussion before I started doing these about moving videos over from the back catalogue and then put them into members only, which I'm not going to do. Because members only exclusive videos don't appear in YouTube search results, which originally I thought, dang, that's a shame. But then it's not really, because can you imagine what YouTube would be like if you were looking for a video on something? You were like, right, I want to find a video on how to fix a toaster. I don't know. My Morphy Richards toaster's broken and I need to know how to fix it. So you search YouTube for how to fix a Morphy Richards toaster. You find the video, you click it, and it's like, you need to pay to watch this video. I think YouTube would quickly become a toilet. So it's good that the members only videos don't appear in search. So I'm happy about that. So engineer's notebook needs updating, like the binder thing at the side. Yes, I agree. But maybe the person who did that was so proud of it that he was contractually promised that it would remain in there for a set period of time. It does need updated. It is glitchy as hell, but I don't know. Maybe it genuinely just doesn't get used that much to the point where they're like, what's the point in putting all this development in when it doesn't get used? Personally, I wouldn't mind if you shared members only videos with the world. But wait a bit. Yeah, so that was one of the things that I suggested to Autodesk. So full transparency, like if before I did members only stuff, I didn't have to check, but I probably did have to. I could have just went and done it, but it was in my best interests to check with Autodesk first whether I could or I couldn't do them. Because I'm using Autodesk's licenses, which they've provided to me through a program which I'm part of, which is it's like a nomination-based community expert program. And I'm using those licenses. So I had to ask Autodesk, is it okay to use these licenses to create videos that are only going to be seen by members who are paying a subscription? It was kind of like an ongoing. Just seen a super chat come through. It's not gonna do it, is it? I'm devastated, mate. I'm gonna have to. I'm saying I'm gonna have to do something about it. I spent about 2 hours after the last live stream trying to figure out what could have went wrong, and I don't know. I'll finish the story though. But thank you very much, Matthias, for the €10.99. Much appreciated. Apologies, the jingle doesn't work. I'll give you one. I'll give you a manual jingle. Thanks for watching the video. So yeah, as part of asking Autodesk if I was allowed to use their licenses, I did suggest to them, these videos I'll maybe make, if it's the difference between using your licenses and not using your licenses, I'll maybe make the videos that I create public after a set period of time. It didn't come to that. So I don't think I'm going to do that, because it will dilute the value of the membership program. If people can just go, well, there's no hurry, I'm not in any hurry to get them, so I can wait for them, then it dilutes and removes a lot of value out of the membership program, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, some of them will, like the early access to the CAD challenge went up on members first and then went public later on. Oh, come on, man! Why did that not? I can't even show you the little box that says that the super chat thing's connected, and it literally says connected. Little green dot, it says connected. It's just not having it. It's just not flipping having it. I'll move it to the top. I mean, mate, I don't know. Apologies. I think what a lot of folks do is they use external third-party little jingle thingies. I might have to do that because clearly this is the little jingle as part of the broadcasting software, as part of XSplit. And evidently it be broken. It be broken. But the problem is you can't even test it yourself. It's not like I can just, if I log a support ticket with XSplit and say, hey, your little ticket thing's broken, I can't exactly just show them because I can't donate to myself. I mean, maybe I can. I don't know. But never mind. Thank you anyway, Mateus. So, but yes, fire any questions you have at me. I don't think we've got too many people in off the members platform at the moment. We've only got 2 or 3, so it's not too many people participating. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, if it turns out that Friday isn't the best day and only 2 or 3 people from members do turn up, I'll have to get back to the wider group and say, oi, mate, where are you? Why aren't you turning up? Isn't this why you signed up? If not, then we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there after that. But most of those guys are over in Discord, so we can have a bit of a chinwag over in Discord. Which has worked out pretty well. Discord's been working out pretty nicely. And I think I'm going to have to keep refreshing this because it says there's only 10 people in here. No, see, it's gone up. It has gone up. Indeed. And according to the chat, there's only 1 participant in here. It's a bit of a quiet one, this one, mate. I think, you know what it is? It's a lovely day. That's probably not helping. Sitting inside a room watching a live. Why would anyone want to sit in a room watch a live stream when it's this nice outside? Do I have any planned videos coming up? There's a couple that I want to make, but I haven't quite got around to them. I need to put something together for this new PC that I've got, the new 10900K. I need to do something with that because that's like the new all singing, all dancing, best of the best CPU for running an Inventor on. Can't not do a video on that. There's that one. I want to do some more stuff on VRED as well. Because I just love it. Obviously, I think I might have said that a few times. Apart from that, there's nothing much else in the pipe. Most of my videos are very much spontaneous. It's like something happens at work, and then it just, that's a good video idea. I'll do that. But there's not been a lot recently to spawn that. Something today happened which could have ended up as a video idea, but I don't know how I would. I don't know what the advice would be at the end of it. It was all about taking large assemblies and then simplifying them down into single parts. Someone sent me an assembly. It was a step file, and he said, "Can you, Neil? He asked me to do it?" And I was like, "Mate, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm not doing that." But he said, "Can we take this assembly and then simplify it down into a single part?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, you can. Just go and do it." Anyway, I opened it up, and it was ridiculously. I mean, it was like really detailed. It was like a 3-wafer PCB board, and it had every single detail you could possibly imagine on a PCB board modeled. Every trace, every resistor, transistor, capacitor, all the ports, all the ports on the PC. I must have had USB ports, like RJ45 connectors and all that. They all had fillets on them. The little prongs inside the port, they all had fillets on them. That much detail was in this. There was 3 levels of PCB in here. It was ridiculous. And he wanted to take that and shrink wrap the whole thing into one part. I was like, mate, that's why our models are quite, that's why we're struggling when you end up at the top level. Wow. So I thought that could be a video, like what not to do when it comes to receiving supplier data. Because it was a supplier model. supplier to send through a step file, and what not to do with that. But it's one of those things where there's no one answer, because there's no one set of rules for simplifying something down. You have to kind of take it on what it is and then make a decision on what you need to keep, what you need to see, and then take it from there. So that was something I was thinking about doing, but today was just one of those days where kind of things got out of hand. Hell of a day. Can you show the model? This one I don't know, because I don't know where it came from. I don't know whose it is. I'll see if I can see the file name of it, and that might give me a clue. If it's something that's just for sale off the shelf, it might be fine. It's a 25 kilowatt power converter. That's the name of the model. Then it's got a little code before it, but I don't know if that's the name of a company or a supplier, or if that's a brand or something. I don't know. I'll Google it and see if it comes up with something. Nope. 25 kilowatts. What? I think I can show the model. I mean, showing the model is not really going to give away any IP. It's just a picture of the model. I can probably show the model without the browser tree. I've got to be really careful with my day job, with what I show on YouTube, and I have been pretty careful. I mean, I think everyone by this point knows where I work. It's on my LinkedIn, but I've had to be super careful what's being presented and what I say about what's going on. And being honest, mate, I think I've done a pretty good job of keeping things locked down and pretty safe. Right, I'll open this up and we'll see if I can hide the browser, and I'll show you it. Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. I think I can show you this. Right, let's switch over. Come on, where's it? There we go. Let's put Sizer on. There we go. So that's the model. So yeah, like literally every single little component was on. It is crazy. And what, there's like 50 parts. So it's not massive. 50 parts, 363 components. A normal practice seems to have been to take something like this and then just wedge it all into one part. Because we don't want to lug around 50 parts. We don't make this. We don't buy in 50 parts. We just order one item. So we want to have one item in our vault. We want to have one item that we place into our models. So can we just take these 50 parts and just wrap them into one? And that's what a lot of people do. But what they don't realize is the Inventor IPT file format is not designed. This is not many people know this, right? The Inventor part format is not designed. I mean, it's common sense when you think about it, but it's not designed to have this much detail wedged into it. You know, fair enough, you can model something like this in, you know, like a little port, a display, an HDMI port, fair enough. It can handle that much data. Scale it up, sure, but an assembly worth of data should not be wedged into a single part file. It causes Inventor to go nuts. And in fact, should we do an experiment? Right? Let's look at memory usage of Inventor. Is this going to even be inaccurate? I mean, this might go wrong. I might be wrong on this instance, but Inventor's using 1.5 gig of system RAM. So if I shrink wrap this entire model into a part file and then reopen it up, shall we see how much system RAM Inventor uses to see if you're actually worse off doing that? So, master, include everything. Okay. it might not even work. There might be so much minute data that this might fail. It might try to pack so much data into a part file, it might just bomb out and fail. Right, I'll switch over to CAM only so there's nothing exposed whilst I'm doing this. Shrink wrapping costs a lot of time. The only cost, mate, if shrink wrapping costs a lot of time, then it's probably being done wrong, because it shouldn't. If whatever you're shrink wrapping takes a lifetime, then that's not true. It depends what you're doing with the shrink wrap model. If you're shrink wrapping something with the intention of placing it into an assembly, it shouldn't take a long time to shrink wrap it, because that means whatever you're creating is too data heavy. If you're shrink wrapping something because you want to send it out to somebody as a simplified model, then sure, fine. But not when it's this. This is being shrink wrapped with the intention of being placed into our own models as a representation, as an alternative for a whole assembly, which ain't so good, right? So, as I suspected, it's been shrink wrapped. Remember, Inventor was using 1.5 gig of RAM. Inventor's now using 4 gig of RAM. So that's not really... Okay, it could have used RAM as... Oh no, that's the wrong one. It could have been using RAM as it was creating the shrink wrap. So what I'll do is I'll save this, shut Inventor down, open it back up, and then see how much RAM is being used. Because that might not be a fair representation of how much RAM this is actually using. Best case scenario, it's probably going to use the same amount of RAM as the assembly. And if it uses the same amount of RAM as the assembly did, then what the hell was the point in shrink wrapping it? Where did it save it? Let's put it on one's desktop. Okay, so that's Inventor closed. Let's open back up. Is the viewing environment the same as the assembly? Seem to have shadows on the part file. I did notice that, and I don't know. It might have been that I might have messed around with my 2021 file settings. I think I've messed around with the defaults for view settings in my Inventor 2021 to enable shadows on part files. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any shadow or visual differences between parts and assemblies for shrink wraps at all. It's probably just me. Right, desktop. IPT, right. So let's see how much system RAM this hogs up. Did they replace simplified part with shrink wrap? No. They're kind of the same thing. Simplified part's just a different way of getting at shrink wrap. So yeah, Inventor's using 1.8, roughly the same amount of system memory. So deriving that entire assembly into a part file, it's not really saved any resource at all. And what happens if we break the link? Break the link with the base component. I mean, look at that. 3 gig of RAM. 3.5 gig of RAM. 4 gig of RAM. And this is a single part. This is you're witnessing right now is why you should never ever shrink wrap an entire assembly into a part file, and without simplifying it down. You need to strip out all of this detail. It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly normal to shrink wrap in a 1700 part file, but you have to remove all of this. You don't need all of this. Right, so we broke the link. Probably could have done reduced memory mode, to be fair. Like, not that it would. I don't think reduced memory mode really saves that much memory. We'll save that. He's taking bloody ages to save it as well. And then where are we at? So we're still at about 5 gig of RAM being used. So there you go. That was an idea. That was an idea that I had. But once you get those ideas, and then you think to yourself, well, how do I take it from that idea into a video? When I first started the channel, that bit didn't matter. That's where the waffling came in. It was just like, oh, I've got this idea for a video. Let's just talk for 45 minutes until I eventually get to the point, and I'll sort of loop and skirt around the point. But now I've kind of got to have a structured introduction. What we're doing. This is what we're doing, and then wrap up kind of a structure to it. Wouldn't like to get that from a vault over a VPN connection. To be honest, like, I don't think it would be too bad, like, in terms of file size. The physical file size isn't that bad. This is where the kind of, not deception, but the misdirection is. The file size won't be that bad. So it's only 175 megabytes, but it's still a big part file. But 179 megabytes worth of part file ended up being 4.5 to 5 gig of system RAM usage. It's not like a 1-to-1 ratio of file size to system RAM. But 179 megabytes is way too big for an Inventor model. Way too big. Ideally, I mean, I don't think anyone's really come out and ever said that this is the limit of what a part file should be. But in an ideal world, you probably want to be having most of your part files less than 50, I would say. Sure, have a couple of them that are around that size. One or two of them a bit bigger if it's totally unavoidable, if they're absolutely huge data sets that you just can't avoid, sure. But something like this, that is totally unavoidable. And what happens is that would have been placed into an absolutely huge vehicle. Absolutely massive vehicle. I mean, we're talking like the size of like 10 car lengths, 14 meters high vehicle. And that thing is what, that big? It's like that big? That would have just disappeared off in. Nobody would have given it a second thought. And that would have contributed to such a performance hit when someone opens up the top level. And then that is just one of 5,000 other parts that go into these vehicles. And it just adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up until you get an unworkable model. And then people go, well, why is Inventor so rubbish? Why is this not working? Why is this so slow? And my PC's rubbish and Inventor's rubbish. And it's that. That's it. That one tiny little file contributed to like nearly 5 gig of system RAM usage. It's 179 meg. And you don't realize it because you're kind of trained when shrink wrap first came out. It was like shrink wrap's the answer to all of Inventor's problems, its large assembly problems. Shrink wrap everything. Shrink wrap your mother. Shrink wrap your dog. You know, shrink wrap everything. Everything's better when you shrink wrap it. It's everything's nice and clean and tidy and zippy and slick. No, you've got to get rid of the detail. So I've done a couple of videos on it already, on shrink wrap. I think I've memory serves me right. I've got a video with the thumbnails of a helicopter in like a cling film shrink wrap, and it's like, what's the difference between shrink wrap and derive, I think. So I've done one video already on it, but that was a good few years ago. But but that was more of an explanation of what shrink wrap is rather than a particular use case like that. Shrink wrap your mother. Well, so yeah, that was something that happened today. So yeah, that was a long way of winded way of answering. Has there any videos coming up? That was one of them potentially. I suppose I could turn that into something. You could not find simplified part in 2020, mate. It's not in part mode. So you go into assemblies, and I think they've shifted it. It's this bit here, simplification. Then you've got simplify view, and then define envelopes, create simplified part. This one here. If she's alive, it's a crime. It would be. I mean, it breaks social distance and laws as well. It was working, so I could give you some issues, mate. I've got enough issues. I've got issues for days that I need to figure out. In fact, I've got so many issues, I'm having to bounce some of them to our local reseller, our local card supplier. Which, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, that's simplified part. And that, for example, shrink wrap there is the same as going into representation and then level of detail, new substitute, shrink wrap. It's the same, it's just been moved into another area and then repackaged to look like it's more accessible. And then shrink wrap substitute, that button there is the same as that, and then where's shrink wrap substitute gone? Unless it's a sub of that. Or select part file, maybe that's it. I think that used to be called shrink wrap substitute. Because you're substituting. No, it's not. Maybe that is shrink wrap substitute. That there, I think, is replacing or creating a level of detail and then dropping in a new part file as a level of detail. That there must be a shrink wrap substitute. You're substituting the entire assembly with a shrink wrap version of it. So yeah, that's what those do as well. So yeah, right, we've got 15 minutes left, mate. There's not many people here, so I'm going to keep it to an hour. So fire away. But yeah, I think it's a hot day. Not many people have turned up. I think there's 24 in at the moment. So if you've got anything else you want to... Oh, Chad's here, mate. Chad, welcome along, newcomer. Welcome, Chad. Pipe up. Oh, there you are, Chad. I see you in the chat. Mate. Welcome along. If it is a step file, why not use AnyCAD? Because AnyCAD is only really needed when you need to carry on further edits in the future. That's the way I look at it anyway. So, like if a supplier was sending you a step file, and then you were expecting them to send you further step files in the future with new updates to it, then sure, you'd use AnyCAD, but these aren't for that. This is just a supplier going, boom, here, there's a step file. We don't really care what it looks. In fact, for us, we don't care what it looks like. That's the daft thing about it. Like that, whoever was going to do this PCB, it doesn't care what it looks like. That's the daft thing, because we don't make them. We don't, it'll vanish into the vehicle. We could have just had a cube for all intents and purposes. That would have just ended up with a description and a part number in a parts list, and then it would just get bought. That's it. We don't care what it looks like. So if the supplier updates the physical form of it in the future, well, what do we care? As long as it adheres to the same form, fit, and function, and it doesn't require, a design change around it, which it shouldn't do. That should be clearly communicated if that is the case. But yeah, we don't need any future edits. So AnyCAD would be fine, but not for what we were using it for. It was just a data dump as a representation of what we are buying in. Yes, mate, Chad, you finally made it. Yeah, the chat was an hour late. The live stream was an hour late. not an hour. I mean, I rescheduled it for an hour later because I had all sorts going on. But I don't think it matters whether I start this at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock UK time. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference to how many turn up at this point, especially on a Friday. Like I said at the start, I think it's the end of the week. Most people in Europe are like, they have switched off. Switched their hell off. And so anyone going to Autodesk University, or not going to, but anyone thinking about signing up to Autodesk University this year? I'm just curious to hear what people reckon of that. I'm not too sure myself what's going to happen with that this year. It's a bloody shame. So you're signing up, you know? I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit of a flop this year. I think it's going to be a bit of a ghost town. I genuinely hope it isn't, but somebody at Autodesk within their management team or whoever, or events management, needs to do what they need to do to make Autodesk University this year as appealing as possible, and not just rely on it being education as the draw, because that's not good enough. Because you think about it, what's going to happen is it's going to be virtual, and who's going to sit at their desk at work during the day and watch live classes from their desk at work all day for a week? I don't think it's going to happen. Especially when they can just not do that and then catch the VODs later on, the on-demand videos. Who's going to do that? So I just don't think many people are going to sign up. So it needs to be really cheap now that it's virtual. And there needs to be an incentive to make people sit at their desks at work and watch classes whilst they're at work. Because, I mean, we've all been there. I mean, I'm assuming all of us have got jobs. Most of us have got jobs. You're in the office, you sat at a desk, your open plan office or whatever it is, and you can't just sit there all day watching classes with headphones on. It can't be done. I mean, even if you get approval from the boss to do that, that would be a stretch. What, you're going to sit in the office and just watch classes all day? Even if that's the case, there's going to be other people that you work with who literally don't care what you do, and they will come and they will harass you, they'll bother you, they'll bug you. Maybe you can go home, maybe you can leave and go home and do it, but for something that's virtual, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't see it happening for a lot of people. Not when you can just watch it later on. And the main draw of major physical event Autodesk University is that you're going there. You're physically there with everyone else, and you're meeting and you're networking. It's a cheesy term. I hate the term networking, but you're there with everyone else who's into what you're into. And you see all the guys from Autodesk, and you put faces to names, and there's like a big stand there with like Autodesk Inventor product team, and you're like, huh. So you are the guys that do all this, and then you can go chat to them, and then you can ask them questions about why things are the way they are, what they're working on, and then you get to see there's a person behind what you work on every day, and where your money's going, and that's paying these guys' salaries, huh? And it's a week of just nerding out over stuff that you're into. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of what AU's about for a lot of people. Make it virtual, take away all of that. What have you got left? You've just got a bunch of live streams. You've got a bunch of Teams or Zoom meetings. I just think it's going to struggle. Really do. You could have met a millennial expert there. Yeah. If anyone doesn't get that joke, there's on my LinkedIn, somebody shared a like one of these, I've just taken a LinkedIn course. I think lynda.com, the old training website, it's now LinkedIn Learning. And whenever you finish a course, there must be a publish to LinkedIn button to like tell your contacts or your network that you've just been trained on LinkedIn Learning. And it must share the introductory clip from the tutor of that course. and someone shared one from this lass called Chelsea, and she introduced herself as, "Hi, my name's Chelsea. I'm a millennial expert." What the fuck is a millennial expert? Get fucking bollocks. Millennial expert. Hi, my name's Chelsea. I'm an expert on over 1 billion people born between 1981 and somewhere after 2000. Okay. Or did you just make that up and you really don't do much in life? Millennial expert. Fucking hell. What? I mean, what? Are we just literally making job titles up at this point? What a load of absolute bollocks. But no, there's no millennial experts over at AU. Not that I've met anyway. Plenty of inspirational speakers. That's the next. I'm an inspirational speaker, a motivator of change. I inspire and motivate change. I challenge my clients to work smarter. How do you do that? Like, describe for me, would you please, the tangible motions that you go through when you're challenging your clients to work smarter. Like, how does this happen? How does this come about? If anyone here has that catch line in their LinkedIn, take it out. It's embarrassing. Challenge my clients to work smarter. You can copy and paste nonsense. I don't know. Chelsea's an expert explaining why millennials are such whiny babies. I read that in the chat. That does not represent my views in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, I'm 15 days away. There's no defining date range really for what a millennial is. In one area, I read that I was 15 days away from being a millennial. Apparently, it's like it was December 31st, 1980 onwards in one area. I think that's the Wikipedia definition of a millennial. But then some other guy said it was 1984. Let's we need to get to the bottom of this. Right. Millennial. Let's settle this once and for all. Researchers and popular media use the early 1980s as their starting birth years, and the mid-1990s to early 2000s as the ending birth years. See, it's a vague date range. I can't remember where I've seen it was December 31st, 1980. It was like I was 15 days away from one particular date range, but it's all nonsense. I just like the word millennial. Nothing against them. It's very, very intelligent, very clever, and creative and disruptive millennials who've done a lot of good work. It's not like you can't particularly say that they're all whiny and lazy and procrastinators, but I'm a millennial expert. Oh, turn it in. Turn it the hell in. I want to just quickly remind myself where I'm at with my Ferrari car, because I want to pick this back up probably over the weekend. And I just haven't seen VRED. I miss VRED. I've seen it in a couple of days. Non-baby boomers and nothing. Gen Freedom 55. Well, that's not. What the hell is that? Freedom 55. It was boomers and then Gen X. Baby boomers, then Gen X, then millennials, then Gen Y, then Gen Z, or something like that. I don't know why they even need labels, but apparently that's the labels. Who knows? Imagine putting on your CV, I'm a millennial expert. Or you get your car insurance. What's your occupation? Millennial expert. I'm pretty sure that isn't in the drop-down list. Simply have an age. Yeah, me too as well. Yeah. Give a toot about all that stuff. Why have I got shadows on my Ferrari? What have I been doing there to mess that up so badly? Why is it so dark? I think I might have messed my cameras up prior to exiting this. Oh, I got the paint right, didn't I? I got the paint sorted out. Oh, 7, mate, you're looking good. And then I got rid of the orange peel. Oh, it's looking good. Looking good. Alright, I needed that. I needed that. Right, I think we're going to call it there, mate. Do you still have the purple thingy? No, I think we fixed it. No, didn't I? We put the purple thingy back on the back, didn't we? So I think the purple thingy's still there. We'll have to repackage that and then sell it on as merch. The purple thingy at the back of the car. All right, unless there's anything else, mate, I think we're going to knock it there. Short and sweet, but I think the weather has deterred most people. I think I've got a bag of fish and chips waiting for us downstairs. So, unless there's anything else that you guys would like to talk about, I think we'll end today's meeting there, and until next week. Yours has just been delivered also. Mine got delivered 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if you heard the dog barking, but mine got delivered 2 minutes after I went live. We ordered it about an hour and 15 minutes before I went live, and then they delivered it like 2 minutes after. You just can't get this stuff. You're still not able to join Discord correctly. Timo, I don't know why. You've got to create a Discord account, which has to be the same email that you use when you log into YouTube. So when you create a Discord account, it has to be the same email that you use with YouTube. I think that's how, because Discord needs to know that you're a YouTube member, and it has to link the two together. Doreen, what time is this going to be every week? You didn't get a notification either. Yeah, YouTube's just letting me down, really. I don't know why it's not sending notifications out. I really, like I said at the start, I reused the settings for the last live stream, and that one did send notifications out, so I don't know why it's not doing it. It's always going to be on Friday around 4 or 5 o'clock every week. That's according to the heat map that YouTube has. That's roughly when everyone's most online. So yeah, about 4 or 5 o'clock every Friday. And then in the middle of the week, I'll probably have like random sporadic live streams, which aren't going to be the support desk. They'll just be probably just messing about, just casual, chilling out live streams. And Mark says he did get a notification. Okay, so if you didn't get a notification, check to see if you've got the little bell thing turned on. I know if you watch YouTube a lot, you're probably sick of hearing about the bloody bell, but turn the bell on. So that'll be that thing there. Click that, and then all. If you haven't got the bell clicked, you won't get notifications. Can someone who didn't get a notification confirm whether you've got that bell on or not? Because that's what sends them out. You got an email and a phone notification. Christ. Was efficient. But yeah, it needs to be that. So could just really quickly let us know if you do get notifications, have you turned that bell on? If you didn't get notifications, have you not turned that bell on? Whack my bell, yes. That's what I do on a Friday. Perfect way to end the week. ladies. That's Discord. And then, yeah, just give that a shot. Then ring the bell, and then we'll take it from there. I'll put a notification in the community tab just to let everyone know that. And also on the front page of the channel, you'll probably forget because I would as well. But there's always going to be like a live now or an up and coming live stream tile here whenever I schedule it. So it'll be there on the front page of the channel. Bell is on, but no notification. Hang on a minute. I'm kind of like subscribed to myself. I wonder if I got a notification to myself. No, even I got my own notification. See? So even I got a notification for it. So I don't know what to tell you, mate. Unless you've blocked them. Have you blocked notifications, maybe? Review your notification settings. Go into your YouTube account and review your notification settings. You might have, the very first time you used YouTube, you might have said block when it first said, hey, we're going to notify you for stuff that you probably don't know you care about yet. I don't know. But take a look through. Review your phone settings, review your account settings in YouTube, and then have another look through. But yeah, I mean, this is like an alt account that I've got, like another personal YouTube account, which I just use for random stuff, and that seems to get notifications. Right, that'll do it. Thanks very much, everyone, for turning up. Hopefully it's going to be miserable next week and more people will turn up. But hi. Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Doodles.